What's going on, everyone? So, a lot of talks about the Golden State Warriors potentially landing kind of a big name next or this upcoming NBA offseason. And according to Mark Spears, the Golden State Warriors, particularly Steph Curry, supposedly expects a star to come to the Warriors, which I think is kind of interesting, kind of bold, right? But Steph Curry reportedly expects a star player to join him in the summer, per Mark J. Spears. I think he knows whether it's a Giannis Antetokounmpo, whether it's a LeBron James. There's going to be somebody next summer that's going to join him, join Jimmy, join Draymond Green, assuming he's still there too. So, again, a lot of talks about Giannis and the Warriors kind of gearing up and ramping up in order to go land a Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't is Giannis really going to go to the Warriors? Maybe. There's several teams, but recent reports have talked about he wants to stay in the in the East because it's closer to Greece. It's easier travel. Because remember, his family still lives in Greece. So there's that. And he doesn't want, but the other part of it is he doesn't want a ball dominant point guard. Again, obviously, all these reports, all these rumors, it's all they are. More often than not, they all contradict the previous one. At the end of the day, like I say all the time, it's basically who's your favorite reporter, right? That's the guy that you trust the most. Okay, then you should believe what he says. Otherwise, just take all this stuff with a grain of salt. But, I mean, you want to talk about a point guard that doesn't need the ball? Not very many that are anywhere close to Steph Curry, right? Who doesn't need the ball in his hand, is scarier off ball than he is on ball, right? Again, very few guys in the NBA that are that good. LeBron, there were reports that came out, probably, I don't know, maybe 2 days before this report that said that LeBron doesn't have any interest in the Golden State Warriors, that he doesn't plan on that it's basically either retirement, the Cavs, or re-signing with the Lakers, which I think is probably most likely. You never know, never say never, but I think if LeBron goes anywhere, it's probably Cleveland, right? But even with that, what happens, with Cleveland? What if Cleveland wins the championship this year, right? Is LeBron really going to go? The one thing that might overshadow LeBron James' farewell tour is him going to Cleveland, right? Or Cleveland winning the championship and him going to Cleveland, right? Now, if Cleveland ends up losing, right, they can work out a sign and trade. But, do the Lakers really want a $30 million center, right? There's just a lot of factors that go into it. Also, what do the Lakers do in the offseason, right? Depending on what the Lakers do, LeBron James might say, hey, I want to stick around. Hey, I'll take the exception or something like that, and it's okay, because he's going to have to take a discount regardless, right? How much is he going to take? Is he willing to play for a vet minimum, right? If that's the case, then he might as well stay with the Lakers, because the Lakers have the most cap space in the offseason, could have as much as $60 million, and you can sign LeBron James on a vet minimum. Do you want to talk about going and getting that other high-end wing, that high-end center, and filling out depth? I mean, you could do that. You might be the best team in basketball at that point. Obviously, still need to see how Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves as a big three, how those three kind of play out and work out and all that stuff. But again, it's is it somebody we're not even thinking of? Every year, right, in the offseason, trade deadline, whatever, there always seems to be a guy that all of a sudden wants out. There's always seems to be a guy that all of a sudden is just you know what, get me out of here. Would they, I don't think that they would, but do they maybe go pursue a Ja Morant? I don't think that they would, but again, his rim pressure and his ability to, apply and put the pressure on the defense and have the kick out outlet to Steph Curry, right? That could be kind of interesting. Do they keep Kristaps Porzingis? And if so, how much does he cost, right? Does he cost a fortune? I mean, his ability to spread the floor, block shots, right? He could be your center, right? And then again, do you end up trading Draymond Green? There's a lot of talks about the trade deadline, but the recent owner for the Warriors was hey, we're planning on having, Draymond retire with the Warriors and spend his career with the Warriors and all that stuff. We've heard that same tune who knows how many times, and and then next thing you know, the guy's getting traded. I mean, more often than not, when an owner says that, they end up getting traded shortly after. I mean, I think most of us are old enough to remember when DeMar DeRozan was sitting right next to the owner and GM and everything, and they were talking about how he's a Raptor for life, and the franchise guy will never get rid of him, even for anybody. And then like a week later, he gets traded for Kawhi. So again, cold world, right? But nonetheless, I look at the Warriors and get just like, how are they going to land like a high-end guy, like a high-end star? Like, does like James Harden go to the Warriors? Right? Does he maybe take a discount? Right? There's not very many stars that you look at and go like, okay, that guy makes sense to go to the Warriors. More likely than not, it's going to have to be via trade, which means it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. Right? Like, look, players more often than not know more than anybody, right? Like, is it possible that Steph actually knows, like, hey, Giannis wants to be, like, if he ends up leaving in the offseason, he wants to come here. Sure. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, players getting in conversations all the time. It's kind of the one loophole. There were reports that the Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry and Draymond Green were planning to heavily, pursue and kind of recruit LeBron James in the offseason like they did with Kevin Durant. So that could be a possibility. Do they, just because there was one report that says LeBron's not interested in it doesn't mean it's not true. But the only reason I kind of lean towards that not being true is because LeBron's had several opportunities. The Lakers last year asked LeBron point blank, do you want us to trade you to the Warriors after the Luka trade? And he was like, nah, I'm good. Right? Like, he wanted to stay. So, but the other kind of leaning thing with that is that, if he goes to Cleveland, is his family going to go there? Because remember, the big reason he went to the Lakers to begin with was because his family wanted to be in LA. His wife wanted to be in LA. His kids wanted to go to school in LA, all of that. His business, post-NBA life, all that stuff. Is he just going to leave everybody in LA while he goes to Cleveland? But if you're in Golden State, you go to the Warriors, you're not that far away, especially for a billionaire who can just charter and get there in 40 minutes or whatever it is, even 30 minutes, right? Like, so again, I mean, he easily could end up pulling something like that off. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see, like, if they really land somebody. Look, there's been these talks about that for the Warriors for years. They did get Jimmy Butler, so maybe you could argue like, hey, last time they ended up getting Jimmy, and so it was true. Like, but anyways, always, this is a discussion. I pass question. You let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Also, not enjoy these types of videos. I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.